You read that caption right. I did a track day in my new Edge Mustang. I'm gonna go over what it's lacking, what I like about it on track, and what I think we can improve on. And stick around to the end because I'm gonna go over my personal best lap. This was a track day that I did with Highline Motorsports and Round Lake Auto. I love doing track days with them. It is probably the best bang for the buck that you can get in a track day than anywhere else in the Northeast, in my humble opinion. It's 8 hours of racing for less than what you'd get to go for a half day at some other places. There's two reasons I tracked the Mustang instead of my Corvette this time though. The main one being is I'm not sure what I did to the Corvette, but I think I have a blown ringland somewhere, and we'll have to investigate that in a separate video to figure out exactly what I did to it. The other thing was, I'd never really driven the Mustang on a track before, so it was the closest thing to a track capable car that I have. I have some modifications done to it already, so I really wanted to see what it would do on track. There are two things that the car was lacking that kind of made a big deal for me though. One, I had 200 treadwear tires on the front, but I didn't have 200 treadwear tires on the back, and the car definitely was tail happy. As I was coming into turns, it almost felt like I could trail brake it everywhere. That's why they always recommend you to have the same treadwear or the same type of tire front and back, because it really could kind of throw the car off. It wasn't too bad, but it definitely would have been a lot better had I had 200 treadwear tires in the back as well as the front. The second thing, which was probably a big deal, was that I may or may not have third gear in that car. Actually, I don't have third gear in that car. It just won't go in no matter what I do.
That's what she said.
So I actually did most of the track in fourth gear and went down to second at one point and then went back into fourth. So it was really sluggish coming out of turns. I had to drive it as like a momentum car because if I lose too much speed, I'll be way out of the power band, which I was for most of the track. That said, I tracked a car without third gear and you still haven't been out on track yet. So I don't know what you're waiting for, because if I can do it without third gear, you can do it with it. Trust me. I think though, for a car that you could get for less than 4,000 bucks in some places, is a really great first car for just about anything. And I'm probably gonna make a separate video on why I think if you're getting your first sports car, it should be a new Edge Mustang. But in terms of it being track capable, the car's not perfectly set up for track use. I do have Field 441 coilovers all around, true coilovers that actually made the car a heck of a lot stiffer. Now they're set up for a drift setting, but they're still pretty good for track use, and I think that made the car handle a lot better than it would have on the stock suspension, which is very soft. I still think you could track a car like this with stock suspension, but you're definitely gonna be faster if you get yourself a good set of coilovers like the Field 441s that I have on the car. The other thing is I have the strut tower brace in the back, which made the back of the car very stiff, and the back end almost wanted to kick out. I think if I went to do it again, obviously with the right tires in the back, and take the strut tower brace out of the car, the back end wouldn't be nearly as tail happy, and I think I'd be able to rotate the car a lot easier, assuming that I have third gear. The fact that it doesn't have independent rear suspension does make a difference, but it doesn't mean you can't track a car like this. It just doesn't mean you're gonna go as fast as a car that has IRS, where you just have more grip in the back coming into and getting out of turns. But that said, I felt like the car was planted pretty well, and I actually could have drove the car all day. I just didn't want to push it because I really didn't trust my tires in the back. I didn't want them to get too hot. So I just did a couple of laps and brought it back in because I drove the car out there and I wanted to make sure I could drive it home. But here is my best lap with the new Edge Mustang in fourth gear for the majority of the track, which I really should be in third. Check it out. Do you want to help us put third gear back on this Mustang? Check out lowboostfilms.com. I have a bunch of different merchandise on there, from hats, shirts, cups, mugs, coasters, you name it. I also have a bunch of car parts on there that I've reviewed on the channel that I know work well, and some tools on there for sale at a good price. I want to hear in the comments if you've ever taken a new Edge Mustang to a track day. You know what? Even an SN95 Mustang has their very similar structures and chassis. I want to know in the comments what you've done to them, how you like them on track, and how you like them comparatively to other cars. For me to do a 152 in this car with no third gear, I think is pretty impressive. I think with the proper tires, with the strut bar removed in the back, and with third gear, I could be pushing probably 145, 146 with this thing without breaking a sweat. And I'm gonna probably try to do that next year because I'm gonna replace the transmission, and I wanna bring this back to another track day, even if the Corvette is good. I wanna bring this to a track day to see what kind of a lap time I could put down on it, because I think it's pretty impressive for what it is. Also, did you notice that C6 Corvette that I was chasing in the video? That's our friend Dale, and he actually let me do a couple laps in his car. So stay tuned, because I'm actually going to do a on-track review of his C6 Corvette. So stick around, so we'll see what kind of lap times I can put down in that thing. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the bell for notifications, because YouTube doesn't like playing my videos right now for some reason. So if you're not subscribed and you don't hit the bell for notifications, you're probably not going to get notified that I put out a new video every Thursday. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you can't wait until next week's video, make sure to check out these videos I already have ready to go.